and usually the hackers sell it for money, and then whoever is interested on the data, they buy it in the dark web, and then they misuse it. Similarly, in February 2025, there was a cryptocurrency heist. It was from Bybit Exchange. Due to a small software flaw, they were laundered about $160 million. That is within 48 hours of the hacking attempt. This is the largest, biggest cryptocurrency stolen up to date in this attempt. Okay? And the well-known example which we had seen in 2017, remember, there was a WannaCry ransomware. All your computers were locked, and then they mandated us to send the money to a certain crypto account to get the password for opening it. I mean, typically they encrypted your machine, and then for the password to decrypt and access your machine, you need to pay a certain amount or the displayed amount to or send that amount to the cryptocurrency. We know that cryptocurrency is untraceable, right? So send it, and then they will give you a password. Then you can access your systems without any issues. These are all the different incidents happened in the recent past. What, for every month there is one or the other incident which happens in the industry, and the industry loses money, business loses money, and it happens, everywhere now and then. And the key takeaway is ransomware and data breaches. They're there. They're there for quite some time, and they're very dangerous. It causes operational shutdown. Like, you cannot operate your business if this happens, and you're also exposing the customer data to everyone. Okay, so there are also hacking attempt happens with the government side. For example, I don't want to name the country, but yeah, whenever there is a war between countries, the government funds the hackers and then asks them to jam the air traffic controllers, and then hack the nuclear missile databases of the other country, and then it can be very dangerous, and it cannot be stopped when there is an attempt on stealing the information, unless until you had a very good security implemented in your computer systems. Okay. So I don't know whether you had heard about resiliency. We are very well aware of what is meant by cyber security, right? Cyber resiliency is nothing but what happens after a cyber attack. How fast we are recovering our data, or we are coming back to our day-to-day operation without any issues. That's what is called resilience. Meaning we are coming back to our original state, like before to the cyber attack happened. Okay, it's the point. Consider that as it's a point. Cyber attack when it happens. Before to that, whatever you are doing, that is for increasing your cyber security, and whatever happens after that point, after the attack, whatever you do to recover your business is called the cyber resiliency. Okay, so this slide outlines our presentation roadmap. We'll define key terms, look at the current threat landscape, dive into various types of cyber attacks, and discuss both defensive and resilient strategies. We'll conclude with a look at future trends and the importance of continuous education. Okay. So this slide talks about what are those definitions. Like as I said, cybersecurity, refers to the practice of protecting networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access or for any malicious use. Meaning, the process of securing one's, all the digital products are called cybersecurity. When it is connected to network, you need to be more very careful, to have them safeguarded, to not expose your internal data, everything. Okay, and the components of cybersecurity is, hardware, software, and data from malicious activities. These has to be protected. Not only protected, it has to be in a integrated way. Like, if you have 10 files, it means that you need to have 10 files whenever you want to access. It doesn't mean that you have 10 files and you can only access 8 files, the other two are not there. Something like that. Okay. So integrity is very important. System integrity is very important. Um, what happens if there is a cyber threat? Okay. If there is a cyber threat or cyber attack to an organization, the organization loses financially, and it also, loses its reputation among their competitors and the customers. So if a company is hacked, and if it exposes the hacking attempt exposes the user data, publicly, it means that we will not go and have business with them, right? It's that bad. Meaning the business will itself go very bearish because of this cyber threats and attacks. That's where this cyber resiliency comes into picture. Cyber resiliency is withstanding and recovering the data from cyber. Let's say there is a organization, ABC organization, and it went cyber threat, let's say at 11 o'clock today, and the customers are not able to access the websites or see the transaction or do their business with the company for brief 10 minutes. After 11:10, everything is back online, and then we are doing what we are supposed to. Okay, so see the recovery time. 11 o'clock, everything went down, and then cyber attack happened. You were not able to access the resources or websites, or do anything through the website. At 11:10, everything is recovered. That's a good news for the customers, right? Meaning we are back in business. The company is back in business, and it is doing the day-to-day activities of what it is supposed to do. So that's what cyber resiliency means. Meaning you need to recover as soon as possible to serve your customer. Um, okay. Before going to next slide, any questions on what is meant by cyber security or what is meant by cyber resiliency? Because that's very important. As I said, the attack is the point. Whatever happens before to that attack point is called, whatever you do is cyber security. And whatever do you after this attack, that particular point is called cyber resilience. Attack happened, you are recovering everything, and you are restoring all your databases, transactions, and your websites, your mail servers, and all the data servers back online, and you are serving the customer, and you act like you are in a normal business. That's called a cyber resiliency. Resiliency is recovering back to the original state. Any questions on these definitions? Because this is very important.
Clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. And when it comes to cyber security, these are the three pillars, like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We call it a CA triad, right? So confidentiality. What is meant by confidentiality in cyber security? This particular triad ensures that all the sensitive information is available only to the authorized users. Meaning, If person A has access to file XYZ, only person A will be able to access file XYZ. No other person can access. That's the confidentiality. And integrity of data, as I said in a couple of slides back, it it ensures the accuracy and it ensures the reliability. Meaning, when you have 10 files to access or to get an information, or let's say you have 10 pages of information about a particular company, and you need to have all the 10 pages when you want to look about the company, or any new person comes and asks for information, you need to give all the 10 pages, right? Not only the first 8 pages and the next 2 pages corrupted and not available to the person who is asking, a person who wants it, right? So integrity, it is about accuracy and reliability. It has to live all its life in the data lifecycle management, and it has to be available as a whole, not as a pieces, to the person or to the party whoever is interested in or whoever wants to take a look at it. That's called integrity. Then availability, it guarantees the information or the system which you are supposed to access is available with very minimal downtime. For example, every vendor, for example, let's say you are buying a server, or you are buying um, Windows laptop or Mac laptop. So the manufacturer of that particular hardware is supposed to give how much of time this will be available when you put into production. People used to tell no, a 99.9999 meaning 7 8 tens 8 nines 99 point followed by six nines percentage of the time. It is we are guaranteeing that it will be available. No hardware failure, no accessibility failure in the hard drive, all those things. Okay, availability is making sure that the the data that what we are looking for is available to access. Okay, no matter what happens, on all the times it has to be accessed, and if there are any failures, disruptions, it has to come back in a very minimal time. That's why we are not saying 100%, it is 99.9, and meaning no 1 hour in a year is okay to be down, like on the given 365 days 1 hour is okay. That's what it means, 99.9999 percentage, right? So it is okay to be down these data, but the time is should be very very minimal, meaning out of 100 hours it has to be up for 99 point followed by 6 nines 99.99999 hours. Okay, so that's availability. So in the cybersecurity triad, we learned three things. One is confidentiality. What is meant by confidentiality? Only the user who has the access, he is supposed to access the data. It's about permission. Two, integrity. What is meant by integrity? Integrity is ensuring that the data is available as a whole, not broken, not corrupted. Whatever we are supposed to read, it is available as a whole to read and digest. And third one is availability. Availability is making sure the data is accessible all the time. So these three things are important in the cybersecurity, and it's very very important framework. So if you are providing all these three triads to a customer, it means that by the eyes of cybersecurity, you are good. Okay, so the next one is cyber resiliency in cybersecurity. So cyber resiliency allows an organization to anticipate, meaning to expect, and withstand, meaning tolerate, recover from, and adapt to cyber threats. Meaning, if there is an incident, the customer should expect, hey, if something happens, meaning that is expecting, right? If something happens, I'll come back like in so and so hours, like 1 hour, 2 hours, or half a day. It depends on what kind of data he is handling. If it is banking data, he has to be back within very few minutes. If it is some a video editing company, or some film production company, it loses its data, it is okay to wait for 6 hours and then get the data back. So every organization has its own SLA, meaning service level agreement of coming back online. So it's about ensuring business continuity. Where it helps in business continuity and minimizing damage during an incident. If there is an incident happens, either your data should be immediately accessible after the incident in a very short time, or at least partially should be available. Majority of the servers are back online and then available. So that's what um, it means resiliency. Okay, anticipating, withstanding, recovering, and if there are any new threats is getting introduced in the future, your cyber resiliency process should ensure that the new threats are also accounted in your process. Okay. That's what it means. Cyber resiliency. So the next one is understanding the cyber security and the cyber resiliency. So as I said, prevention and protection, that comes in cyber security. Recovery and adaptation, that comes in cyber resiliency. What is meant by prevention? No, preventing unauthorized access. Protecting your data from all the external or internal threats. Um, Cyber resiliency, as I said, no recovery and adaptation, meaning it has to adapt for newer threats, and if there is any threat detected, and then the organization went through any attack, it has to recover as soon as possible. Okay, so cyber resiliency focuses on continuity, meaning you need to provide all the business functions without any disruptions. The cyber security, that's a point before the attack happens, right? That's called focusing on defense, meaning I will open only the ports, firewall ports, whichever is necessary. Not all the ports will be, all the firewall ports will be open for the access, and only limited ports, and only limited user will have access to them. So all those things, focusing on defensing. Okay, so in today's world, where are the cybersecurity is very critical, and where it is impacting more, banking, healthcare, transportations, and all the digital communication that happens. These are some important or bigger industries, which is very important, very vital across the sectors. And a breach in any of these can have far-reaching consequences, affecting millions of people and their data, in the business. So these three sectors is very dependent on cybersecurity, meaning banking, healthcare, and transportation. Okay, sorry. Okay, next slide is understanding the evolving cyber threat landscape. Meaning, over the period of time, the cyber security became well sophisticated. Meaning earlier, it used to be only one person trying to access a third party resources, or resources to which it doesn't have any access, meaning unauthorized access. But as the technology advances, right, today, given that artificial intelligence takes the stage, it, every business needs to be continuously monitored for such attack. You can tell, and let's say for example, you don't know how to scan all the open ports of a firewall. You can tell the any AI tool agent as the tool to generate a Python script, JavaScript to scan the firewall code. It's as easy as that. If you don't want to do how,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Sorry for the interruption. I request all the participants to turn on the camera.
No, video. No, meet call use the camera.
I can do that. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So as the technology evolves constantly, um, the need for um, constant monitoring and adapting to the new threats, everything has to be included in our process. Meaning, organization needs to stay vigilant and adapt to these changes with updated tools and strategies to remain protected. Okay. So we have seen a significant risk in cyber attacks. They impact both organizations and individuals, highlighting the urgent need for robust defenses and awareness. Like I said, um, due to the evolving technologies, we have more space for a hacker to easily take over a data or hack into a system resources in an organization, right? So what is its impact? It impacts millions of people, like I said in the very second slide, right? WannaCry, it affected about thousands of computer systems and locked everything as encrypted data. Unless until you don't have a key, you will not be able to access it. Right? It is also threat to individuals. It may meaning let's say your bank account number is exposed, your card number is exposed, credit card number, debit card number is exposed. It's a threat to individuals as well, right? So to have an overview, this impact can happen anywhere, like it can happen in individual, it can happen at the organization, and it will lead to financial losses and operational disruptions. It can also happen to the government side. Like I said, the social security breach happened in Morocco's government. That is an example. Even government is not omitted from these kind of attacks, and it has the let's say a company goes through these cyber attack, then it loses its reputation among the customers, correct? Let's say some bank XYZ is getting attacked by the cyber hackers, and that is being broadcasted in the news. Will you open a new account and then do transaction with them? No, right? So it is a reputation damage. It is a long term trust issue for the customers who already has account in the particular bank. So we need to have a proper cyber resiliency plan and defensive mechanism as part of cybersecurity process to have this data safeguarded. Okay, so let's understand what are the different types of threats that are there in the cybersecurity. You might know a few of them. So these slides I'll rush quickly, and this is just for information. Threats come in various forms, right? External hackers, internal hackers, or inside threats, malwares, and more. Understanding these helps us create effective protection and response strategies. Okay, so let's understand few key terms. First one is vulnerability. What is meant by vulnerability? Vulnerability is meaning weak. This weakness can be in your software or in your password or in your physical security, like say you have all the servers in your bank and you left it open to anybody can come and pull the wires. So the weakness can be anywhere. And with respect to cyber security, the different type of threats are malware, phishing, um, denial of services, distributed denial of services, all those things. And what happens when there is a vulnerability? There is a financial loss, there is a reputational loss, there is a data breaches, and you eventually one who is getting impacted because of these vulnerabilities goes out of business most of the times. And to avoid these, we need to have strong cybersecurity process and cyber resiliency process to safeguard the data and recover from the data. So we'll see how what are the major vulnerabilities in the next slide. Um, One, outdated softwares. If you have outdated software, the software is also evolving. Look, why do we release Windows 10 after that Windows 11? Then, for example, Windows 12, 13, and all, right? Because it one aspect of looking into is giving additional features to the user, like you can do more with the recent versions. Another aspect is security. Okay, so if there is a security hole or no, improvable system design or software design in their X version, they will release it as X plus one version as a redesigned codes, redesigned internal communications, everything, so that you can have a better software and reduce the threats. Then, where is the vulnerabilities are? Strong passwords. You cannot have 1 2 3 4 5 6 as password. You cannot have QWERTY as password. You cannot have your name at the rate your date of birth year as password. You cannot have January at the rate 2025, April at the rate 2025 as a password. These are all very common passwords, right? And you cannot have your PIN code as password. You cannot have your important ones, your son's name or your daughter's name or your parents' name as password. You cannot have your year of birth as a pin. You cannot have your date and month of birth as your pin, ATM card pin, right? These are all very easily guessable, predictable information. We need to have strong password. I think at least very few of you will have one of these passwords that what I had told, right? Let's not have it go and change it. It can be predicted very easily if a hacker has an access to your debit cards or credit cards. And another thing is when you are configuring your network, as I said, the firewall example, right? When you're configuring your network, you need to ensure that all your unwanted ports are disabled or closed. Only the needed ones. For example, if you're hosting a web server, only HTTPS port 443 is expected to be open. Or the worst case is EAT port. That's for HTTP. Other than that, close all other ports. Even they know the static IP and try to access. For example, if they want to try to do a SSH 22 port, if that is open, they can attempt with all the possible passwords, right? If the port itself closed, will not allow them to do an attempt for attack. Okay. So next slide. One is outsider threat. The other is insider threat, right? Insider threats are dangerous because they come from trusted individual. Like let's say an organization has an employee and he is copying the data in his pen drive and then selling it to the competitor. This is very serious. Whether malicious or negligent or ignorance, insiders can cause major harm if not properly monitored. So that's why
இது
organizations,
முடிச்சோன்னா அடுத்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் இருக்குல்ல
bigger
கம்ப்யூட்டர்
organizations
அதே
like restricts the
ம்
USB access on all their machine. Meaning, you cannot directly
அவங்க
attach your
எல்லாம் முடிச்சு
USB
அவங்க
drive
உள்ள
and
சைன்
copy the
பண்ணுறதுக்கப்புறம்
contents to your pen drive and then use it outside of your company. It is restricted. You cannot directly
அப்போ நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம்
put
இதை
in
ட்ரை பண்ணுங்கள்
another, enable
மீன்ஸ்
another network card or another wireless connection in your
இதே
laptop
சூப்பராக
and
இருக்குது
then
இதை
have
இதை
the
ட்ரை
data
பண்ணிட்டோம்னா
access.
ரெண்டு பேரும் மாற்றி மாற்றி
that's
பண்ணிக்கலாம்
that's restricted nowadays. So meaning these are all some examples
புரிஞ்சுல
for insider threats. Okay, this can happen due to over enthusiasm or
இன்னைக்கு நல்ல தெளிவாக இருக்குது இவர் கிளியராக பேசுகிறாரு அதனால்
negligence or with intention.
யூஎஸில் இருக்கார்ல
Anything can
யூஎஸில்
happen,
ஸ்பீடாக
right?
இருக்கும்
So the consequences are same: reputation loss, financial loss, and yeah, it is like any other cyber incident. Now, how do you mitigate this? How do you prevent this? Mitigation is prevention.
இங்கே
How do you prevent this?
நெட்டு ஸ்பீடு
In order
இல்லைன்னா
to
இங்கே
prevent
நெட்லாம்
this,
இருக்காது
you need to do, you need to regularly train people and you need to regularly monitor people. And you need to have strict access controls, meaning if there is person who can only access to certain computer, his username and password has to be enabled only to the particular user. You need to have centralized management like Active Directory management for all the computers, printers and everything. And and if there is any deviation seen, you need to take proper action. Like somebody is printing out some financial data and leaving the printed sheet at the printer itself, printing station itself. You should not have that kind of negligence from the people, right? So that's more important. Okay, the next slide. Then comes the external threats. External threats often come from cyber criminals or hackers seeking financial gain. Their main motivation is, most of the time, it's financial gain, and few other times it could be damaging the reputation. Like these attacks can stop an organization on their daily day-to-day business, and resiliency strategies are very critical for the recovery. You need to have proper resiliency to recover from an incident. Okay, so this is more important. Now let's understand what are all the different types of cyber attacks that we have. You might have heard about this, right? These are many types of cyber attacks: phishing, malware, denial of services, and man-in-the-middle attack. These are four important attacks which is still happening, which is old, but these exploits different weakness in system or users. Okay, so phishing is nothing but you are receiving an email, opening a file, and it executes a program in local and exports data or causes damage to the system or whatnot. So these are called phishing attacks. And malware is nothing but you download a software. It's a malicious software, right? You download a software and then you install it in your machine. It exposes the data that is there in the system to the person who had uploaded this one or who is the owner for this malicious software. It can be for example, let's say you have important documents saved. Let's say you are about to submit a thesis and you have stored everything in C colon thesis folder. It can happen. This malicious software can scan the all the non-default folders, like it omits C colon Windows, it omits C colon users, it omits C colon program files, all the default generic files. And if it sees anything else, it just zips it and then uploads it to some third party file uploading website like Google Drive, like OneDrive. Okay, so that happens. That's a loss. You That thesis became plagiarized one when you were submitting it, if somebody has misused it. And denial of service is nothing but, have you seen the ATMs out of service because of denial of service? Denial of service can happen, ATM out of service can happen for many reasons. One, there is no money. One, there is no network. And another thing is there is no proper monitoring happens in that machine. These kinds. One of the reasons why there is no connectivity is, it could be because of this reason, actual hardware failure. Other than that, if a hacker wants to access a particular website, for example, like let's say
இது சூப்பராக இருக்கு.
www.google.com, right? Let's take that example. Google.com web server will have an limit, like only 1 million user can access google.com at any given point of time. Only 1 million users can request a search at any given point of time, because they don't have unlimited resources, right? They have, let's say for discussion's sake, let's say they have 10 servers, each can handle 1,000 requests at any given point of time. Totally 10,000 requests at any given point of time. Now, if I can write a program, threaded program, which can generate a search request for every second continuously, and number of threads is 10,000, meaning I can occupy all the threads in the servers, right? Like I can give work for all the threads in the web server that's running in the google.com, right? So if that happens, if a genuine user comes, like let's say I am introducing running this program which generates 10,000 requests to google.com. You are a genuine user and you are coming to try to access google.com and search for some publications or something, right? When you are not able to access, either you won't be able to access, or you will see a significant delay on the search results. That's because of load that I am generating. I am keep on accessing the machine. So this could happen. That's called denial of service. If one person does that, it's a denial of services. If like me, I have my friends and then I invite them to attack the same server, that's called a distributed denial of services. More than one person targeting only one server and loading them with constant requests. That's called a denial of services. This maybe Google can respond slowly, but let's say consider that you have a small XYZ supermarket. They have a website for online ordering. They cannot withstand this one and this type of request, right? So you need to build the process accordingly to deny those kind of repeated requests in the machine. You need to design your software accordingly. The other one is man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attack, nothing but let's say you sit in between the sender and the receiver and traces the packet, network packet. It happens at protocol level, right? If you know the protocol, and there is a tool called Wireshark. You can see all the traffic that goes in the wire, meaning network, and you can see who is sending an email and who is sending. Could be encrypted. No, I'm not. You will not be able to see what they are sending, but you will be able to know they are sending something. A very targeted attempt on those packets can have a beneficiary to the hackers. That's called man in the middle attacks. This we have discussed denial of services and distributed denial of services. As I said, man in the middle attack also we spoken of. I was giving you a brief introduction, and then it's known. These attacks has been there for a long time. Phishing we have discussed. Okay, and phishing you might have known. This is whale phishing. Whale phishing is nothing but instead of targeting a clerk in the company, you are targeting a owner in the company, like executives, CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, because the data they access are more valuable than a clerk who access the system or the network or the data, right? So that's why we are saying it is whale fishing, means big monetary benefit. Okay. Spear phishing is nothing but targeted email attacks to an individual or an organization. I am not going to randomly send these emails to everyone, but same person, different kinds of emails. Same organization, multiple emails. So that kind of approach. One or the other person will not have patience and then click it, download it, or the success rate is more here. Okay. So we know what is ransomware. Ransomware is nothing but it's a piece of software which encrypts your machine, and then unless until you pay some ransom, you pay some money, you will not be allowed to access your own data. That's called ransomware. If a piece of software does this, that's called ransomware. And what are the effects of these ransomware attacks? Operational disruptions, reputations damage. The business reputation goes in very bad among the customers, and financial losses. Yeah, true. And how do you prevent this? You train the employees. Don't you have if somebody don't download softwares. No, don't download softwares from the websites you don't know. Don't have very easily guessable passwords. Don't leave the system unlocked when you are in office or something. Somebody can walk in and send something from your mailbox. All that can happen. So training is more important. Back up your data. That's more important. So because in most of the cyber attacks, we are recovering the original business by restoring the backup data. Okay, most of the times, if you have the same copy of data stored somewhere else, we'll just wipe out the current, whatever the machines that went through the attack, and then restore the contents. For example, you have a laptop and attacked by ransomware. To the unlock your machine, they have changed the password and unlock the Windows machine, your laptop. There, hackers are asking you to pay, let's say $1,000 to some account. It can go in that way. No, that's paying ransomware, right? Ransom to the hacker, right? The other way is if you have a backup of your laptop stored somewhere, you can just restore, including the data, operating system, applications, everything, and then you don't need to pay. Then you change the password when you are deploying these, and yeah, whatever attempts that hacker had made, that went in vain. You don't need to pay anything. Okay, that's the way of recovering from the data. That's more important. Most of the recovery in the industry happens. Most of the cyber resiliency happens in this way, meaning restoring the data stored somewhere else, because that was not under attack, right? I mean, it's a different place, different network, altogether different access permissions. A hacker might not hack both the places at the same time. It's very less possible.
க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாம்.
Okay, so yeah, we discussed about this malware, and the other important thing is social engineering. Social engineering exploits human psychology. The others are electronics, right? You go type something, send something, copy something in your USB drive, and hacker does port scanning and then logging into the machine. All those things. Now, what if somebody comes to you and then say that I was sent by your boss and he's asking your machine password in your college, or I was sent by principal and he wants to retrieve some file, and we need your laptop password, and this can happen personally. This can happen over a phone. We might have seen recent incidents in Facebook users, like somebody is pretending to be your friend and then asking money. I'm in a hospital, send so and so money to this GPay account, phone pay account, Paytm account. We had seen news about it, right? So these are called social engineering. So you need to stay vigilant. You need to stay vigilant in the personal aspect. And if you're into a job and if you think that the information that what you are going to share will impact the organization, schools or colleges, we need to be more cautious. Okay, another type of attack is called SQL injection attack. We know that SQL is structured query language, right? So we can use this SQL injection attacks to manipulate database queries, and they can expose or alter something. Let's say somebody has bank balance of 1,000 rupees. Now, if you have the capability of embedding these SQL queries inside your text box in the bank's website, if you know how to do that. I mean, this is possible, and I'm just saying it with the less. If the website is not well secured, there have been incident in the past. You can send a SQL query using ODBC connector. Inside a text box, you give the query. Let's say select star from customer database. It will give you what are all the what are all the database field names, everything, all the schema you will be able to see, right? Then you compile your next query, change this value to so and so, and it will get reflected. This is called SQL injection. Okay, and this had been there for quite some time, and in few of the less secure servers, this is still possible. Okay. So how to avoid this? You need to do an input validation. Nobody should send a query like string in your text box or in the text area. So whenever you are getting input um, from a user, you need to validate it for any malicious content and then skip it if it is not relevant. Okay. And there is something called zero day exploits in cybersecurity. Zero-day exploits are nothing but unknown vulnerabilities, and we know that the developers know that there is an issue before they provide a fix, before they provide a workaround, before they provide a software patch to the machine. Making use of that attack. Let's say, by design you have when you're developing a software, you forgot to disable the firewall, and you release the software, and before you give a patch, and then and the patch will eventually disable the software. Before we do that, the attackers or hackers, whoever knows about this, they are making use of this and then accessing your machines with the open ports and whatnot. So these are called zero-day exploits. Zero-day exploits are nothing but these are not well-known vulnerabilities. Before a software developer or software company gives a patch to the software, the attackers are attacking and then doing a data breach. So that's it's about timing, right? As soon as the company knows there is a issue in your software, before you patch it, we are making use of that fine window and then attacking the website or application, whatnot. Okay, so this is about timing of attack. Okay, as I said in the past, and very few slides back, now the emerging artificial intelligence are also being utilized in the attacks. And we had known about deepfakes, meaning without just with your photo, you can create a video of you saying something which you have not said in the past. It is like just taking a photo, making a cinema, and it can cause reputation damage to the people who is being used in that videos or audios. Okay. Now these four important points. Okay, importance of cyber resiliency. One, if you have a good cyber resiliency process defined for an organization, it reduces the downtime, it enhances the incident response, and it builds the stakeholder trust, customer trust, and it leads to uninterrupted operation, meaning business continuity. Okay, so be it you have a standby system which is continuously backed up and then ready for deployment as soon as you hear that attack. And what you will do is you will just hold down the machine that which went through the attack, and boot the machine um, in where the data backup is stored, right? So it will act as a your original organizational server. Okay. So what are all the different components in the cyber resiliency? One, you will assess the risk. That's called risk assessment. Now, how you are responding to a cyber attack? That's called incident response. That includes even detection of the any threats as well. Then a recovery planning. If there is a cyber attack, what a system admin has to do, what a network admin has to do. All those are clearly written down. It's like a protocol, right? And everything is written down. And as soon as you see this, you will execute that. No, step one, step two, step three, step four. Your machine is back online. Now this is with the current assessments and then techniques that we know, right? Your cyber resiliency process or framework should also include the continuous improvement, meaning you might not know what are the things that comes in the future, right? There might be like today what we are facing, AI aided, no, artificial intelligence aided attacks. There might be something else can come. Okay, your process should accommodate that and then use that for recovering to the business. Okay, that needs to be very important point in your process definition. All these 4 points we have discussed. Um, yeah, this is a little bit detail about the incident response, and yeah, this is importance of data backup and recovery, right? So regular backups are very crucial. You need to take backup if you feel that um, you might get into a cyber attack, or you are running an organization or office or a school or college or where you are storing all the important data, right? You must have regular backups. They are very crucial. And the other thing, testing for recovery is important, meaning you are taking a backup but you are not simulating a cyber attack. For example, let's say when cyber attack happened, then you are trying to recover. No, you are not able to recover due to some network configuration issue, and then you are trying to fix that network configuration, right? So we should not have that kind of process. Every 6 months once you need to do this drill, like test the recovery, restore it, and then see everything is happening fine. Then your network admin knows what to do when there is a threat or there is attack. Your storage admin knows if there is a threat or attack, what he should do. Your web admin, database admin, no, all those server admins knows what to do when there is a real attack or real threat. You need to conduct this mock drill in order to minimize the downtime and maintain business operations after a breach. Okay, these things reduces the downtime very drastically, and it ensures the business continuity. Okay, this one, yeah, we spoke about regular updates. Patching is important. When let's say you are running um, Windows based or Linux based servers, you need to have security patches installed, because security patches is meant to secure your system. Whatever the new attacks that are being come into a CVE, critical vulnerabilities forum. So what they'll do is they'll the Linux community will patch it, the Windows developers will patch it, and they release periodic patches. So if your system is up to date, 90% of the time you will not undergo any such cyber attacks, because your machine is secure in the aspect of software design. Okay. So how you can enhance security by multi-factor authentication, meaning not only the password or PIN but also the OTPs, okay, or the fingerprints or the facial recognition. Multi-factor meaning more than one factor, more than the password. Password plus fingerprint or password plus PIN or password plus OTP. That is called multi-factor authentication. Okay, effect of this, no, it reduces the unauthorized access because strong authentication, it can happen only through the authorized users, right? Um, then only your password authentication system will allow you to log into the resources that you are entitled to. Strong authentication, especially MFA, add layers of protection. It no educating users about these tools can drastically reduce unauthorized access incidents. Meaning, if somebody shares a password, if let's say you know that that person will give, if somebody hear it or from distance, let's say you are telling your password to someone who is your friend and somebody is passing by, even telling to your friend is not okay, but if somebody is passing by and hearing the password, that will have drastic effects. Okay. So, how do we build a strong and secured culture in the security? Recognizing threats. You need to have no response protocols. What happens when there is a threat? No, because cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Not it's about the admin or the person who works in the lab who applies the patches, or not only to the person who is in charge of the lab. Training employees, students, and promoting awareness helps build a culture where threats are recognized. But recognizing threat itself a big thing. Okay, threats are recognized and addressed early. Okay, the continuous learning. It is like you are doing research. You need to have continuous learning on this area to have your data secured digitally. To whichever you are entitled to. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. Any questions? I think there are no questions.
So could you brief again on cyber resilience, sir?
Okay, cyber resiliency is nothing but, let's say, you have a server, okay, and you are storing all your employee records,
Yes.
and you are taking measures, meaning you are enabling firewall, you are having a strong password, and you have the server inside a locked premises, locked room, and you are the only person who has the key. Okay, meaning these are the things part of cyber security, meaning you are securing these things, right? Let's say for some unfortunate reasons, somebody found the key, and then or somebody found a port where your server is running, or IP address of your server, and then through port he is trying to log into the server and deleting everything.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
all your employee records are gone now, right?
Yeah.
Now, cyber resiliency is what you do after this attack. Now, if you have already backed up the data every day, every 1 hour you are backing up data to some remote location or cloud, okay,
Yes.
and recovering it, that is called cyber resiliency. Cyber resiliency is your ability to run your business like how you ran originally after a cyber attack. That's more important.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Very good presentation to the cybersecurity related information about you provide. So my question is, sir, cybersecurity related the very good work in the various fields,
Mm.
but how to cyber attacks in every day, every time. Easy way to any person to the fraud now. Why this happens, sir?
Why this happens? Good question, Manoj. So this happens due to many reasons. Few of those reasons is one is financial gain. Now, like in the ransomware, Vanakari ransomware case, right? Um, you cannot find the person who encrypted your system after a ransomware attack. You are going to transfer money through through Bitcoin or Ethereum like coins, and then this is mostly for financial. 80% of them are financial gains, and others is because of competitive advantage. Let's say you are making a product A, and your competitor is making another product in the business. Like let's say you are manufacturing a laptop. Your competitor also a manufacturing a laptop. Your laptop can process, for example, okay, 1,000 instruction per second, but your competitor can only do 800 instruction per second. Okay, so now I'm taking these as just a use case. Okay, so if he wants to know what different you are doing than him, because it's the same, right? You are using same hardware, you are procuring a hardware from the same vendor, everything is same, but when your competitor feels we're able to do only the 800 instruction per second, he wants to know what algorithm that you are using to do the more 200 instruction per second. So he would be very curious, right? So if he wants to know, he might send a person, to be as an employee to your organization, and then knows about what is happening internally, and then take those data and then implement it. This is what business advantage. The first one, we spoke about financial advantage. This is business advantage, competitive advantage. Three, between governments. This is happening. This has been happening for very long time, and this will happen. They want to know what the other country is doing, right? And based on which they can design policies and everything. So these things happen. And apart from these three categories, one strange thing is the curiosity, right? Let's say after this session, somebody attacks. So sorry, somebody attends the ethical hacking session. They want to try it out. No, this is purely novice or new user mindset, and then they are trying to learn things and they are trying to try out things. This purely of curiosity, not for financial gains, not for competitive gains, but purely of curiosity. Let's try to hack our neighbor's Wi-Fi with the tools that I have. This is very small set of numbers, but yeah, these do contribute to the cyber attacks or vulnerabilities. Did I answer your question?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Manoj, for the question. Any other questions? Okay. I take that as a no questions, and thank you very much for these extra 12 minutes. Thanks for staying in. Good luck. Thank you.
Artika, are you there? Hello.
I would like to call Miss Gopika from second BSc to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude today's session of the International Faculty Development Program on Mastering Research in Computer Science, it's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. Our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Jayandraj sir for his enlightening and the engaging talk on test automation with stories and the visual tools. Your rich experience and the insights, especially your journey to your impact role at core history, were truly inspiring. Thank you to our audience and community coordinators and the technical team for their serious support and to all participants for their active engagement. Once again, thank you, Dr. Jahandar sir, and thank you all. Wishing you continued success. Have a great day.
Thanks again.
Jagasan, thank you, and thank you all participants.
Thanks again. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
good day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.